In the haunting aftermath of a rain-soaked and soul-crushing weekend at Sachsenring, Ducati Lenovo team's Francesco Bagnaia stood under the paddock lights not as a world champion, but as a rider visibly shaken by the fragility of form and confidence. The two-time MotoGP World Champion cut a somber figure as he spoke candidly about the chaos beneath his helmet, both mechanical and emotional, following a dismal German Grand Prix. Bagnaia's post-race reflections were brutally honest. His tone was that of a man searching for control in a sport that often gives none. "I don't remember ever being this slow in the wet," Bagnaia confessed. "From the start of the day, everything was complicated. We tried changes, but they only made things worse." What tormented Bagnaia most wasn't simply the pace, or lack thereof, but the total absence of feeling from his machine. In MotoGP, when your bike no longer speaks to you, the silence is deafening. "I was trying to go faster, but the rear kept moving. I risked crashing every time I pushed harder. It's a disaster when you can't trust the bike," he said with the kind of frustration that belies weeks of brewing disappointment. His words echoed louder because they weren't shrouded in technical jargon or excuses. They were real. Raw. This was the sound of a title defense unraveling not with crashes or mistakes, but with confusion and helplessness. From free practice 2 to qualifying and sprint, Bagnaia was consistently off the pace. Not by margins, but by feel. The grip was gone. Every rider complains about losing grip after a few laps on used tires. "I didn't even have grip to start with," he admitted, revealing a worrying disconnect between his setup and Ducati's broader data set. While most of the paddock expected the rain to level the playing field, for Bagnaia, it drowned it. When it's wet and you don't feel anything from the bike, that feeling multiplies. "You lose all confidence," he said. Sachsenring, with its unique layout and dangerous blind crests, exacerbated the problem. Bagnaia pointed directly to the safety concerns at turns 7 and 8, where the consequences of a crash are harsh and immediate. "If you go down there, you're into the air fence. It's not safe. But those decisions are out of our hands." These concerns aren't new, but when they're raised by a world champion on a weekend when he nearly crashed several times without even pushing, they carry more weight. Bagnaia wasn't just lamenting performance, he was issuing a warning. Much of the intrigue surrounds the potential disconnect between Bagnaia and Ducati's development path. Despite testing 2 chassis and gathering data from across the Ducati camp, the Italian's issues seem specific and unsolved. "The feeling I'm missing, I've missed it all year," he said. That admission alone is cause for alarm. Ducati, the benchmark manufacturer of the past 2 seasons, prides itself on precision and feedback. For its lead rider to feel estranged from his bike, especially in July, is a massive red flag. Even more worrying is Bagnaia's admission that while others complained of overgrip in the opening laps, he experienced the complete opposite. That should have been a warning sign. And today it was. If there's a lifeline for Bagnaia in this storm, it's his close relationship with Ducati CEO Claudio Domenicali. "He's always by my side. He listens. He wants to understand," Bagnaia said, offering a rare glimpse into the human side of a sport so often dominated by engineering and telemetry. The Ducati boss approached him after the race, not with reprimand, but reassurance, a gesture that meant more than lap times. Still, even that bond is built on results, and Bagnaia was clear, "We want to fight at the front again. That's what I've done from the beginning. That ambition feels far away right now." Sachsenring was more than a poor result, it was a moment of reckoning. A reminder that even the best can find themselves lost in the fog. Bagnaia's weekend wasn't completely devoid of optimism. Looking ahead, he hinted that a dry race could allow him to bounce back. "If the sun comes out tomorrow, we can fight. Starting from 10th isn't ideal, but the top 5 is still possible," he said with a sliver of hope. But his comments also implied urgency. "In the wet, we need a radical change. What happened today cannot repeat itself. You don't end up 40 or 50 seconds behind the leader without something being fundamentally wrong. That is the crux of the matter." Bagnaia's championship campaign is teetering, not on his talent, but on Ducati's ability to give him a tool he can trust. The gap to Jorge Martin, Marquez, and even Enea Bastianini is widening. Confidence is slipping. Time is running out. What makes this weekend's narrative so powerful is not just the technical drama, it's the psychological toll. MotoGP is brutal. It punishes hesitation, rewards instinct, and reveres momentum. For a rider like Bagnaia, analytical, methodical, and mentally precise, losing that mental sync with his machine can be devastating. The fact that he's voicing those doubts publicly is telling. It suggests not only frustration, but also a cry for urgency from within Ducati's inner circle. The Sachsenring breakdown is not the end of Bagnaia's title hopes, but it is a signpost. A warning that if Ducati cannot give him the connection he craves, the crown could slip away before the summer break. And if there's one lesson in MotoGP, from Rossi to Lorenzo, from Marquez to Dovizioso, it's that when a rider starts to second-guess the bike beneath them, the title is already in peril. Despite the chaos, Bagnaia's composure off-track remains a testament to his resilience and maturity as a champion. He isn't pointing fingers or making excuses, he's searching, questioning, and still believing. That quiet determination, even in the face of growing adversity, could be the very spark Ducati needs to transform this frustrating chapter into a turning point. If they can rally around their lead rider and fix what's broken, the fire for a comeback still burns, and Bagnaia has shown before that he thrives when everything is on the line.